All right, zucchini season's right around the corner. It's that time of year when your neighbors like to give you a lot of zucchini. First thing you want to do for zucchini fritters, all right, is grate our zucchini. Second thing we're going to want to do is make a nice little batter out of milk, eggs, flour, and a little bit of seasoning. And then we'll throw it right on the griddle, cook them till they're done, and enjoy. I like to grate my zucchini in a large grate. All right, they have a lot of moisture in them, so you do need to. It is best, you don't need to, but it is best if you dry them out a little bit. If you can do this the day before, even better. But we're gonna do it right here, right now. Okay, so I'm grating them into a paper towel. I can grab a little bit of excess moisture as I grate them. They just sit in this paper towel. The paper towel absorbs. I will add a little bit of salt to my zucchini. This will help to draw out some of the moisture. Okay, it'll also season our zucchini. Okay, toss that in there just a little bit. It'll draw out just a little bit of moisture. On to our batter. Batter is important. Okay, batter's gonna bind our zucchini together, but batter can also make it kind of gluey looking. So what I like to do is add an egg. All right, a little bit of milk. We'll whisk that together. All right. Whoa. Making a mess is all part of it. At this point, I like to add my seasoning. A little bit of oregano. A little bit of crushed red pepper. A little more salt. A little bit of pepper. Fresh ground is always the best. All right. And then we'll start adding our flour. Now, the great thing about zucchini fritters is they're basically a pancake. All right, so if you know what the consistency of a pancake batter should be, then you know how much flour to add. Now, I'm going to add a couple ingredients, all right, to my zucchini fritter batter just to lighten it up a bit. Okay, because we don't want it to be thick and dense, but we do need it to be thick. All right, so we'll add a little bit more flour, all right, to help aerate it. All right, we're going to add just a little bit of baking powder. All right, and then I like to add cornstarch, non-GMO. All right, this will help to add a little bit of crispness to it. Okay, so it's not just a soggy mess. We'll stir that in, get it nice and thick. Okay, we do need it to be a little bit thick because we are adding all the moisture from the zucchini in there. Don't forget to taste. Pasty. A little bit more salt. A little bit more pepper. And we should be about ready. Nice and thick, see? It's gotta be that thick. We're adding all the zucchini, and the zucchini has moisture from it. Gotta be that thick. We have our zucchini that's been drying out a little bit. You can see a lot of that moisture is coming out. Okay, that paper towel, nice and moist at the bottom. Okay, try to get out as much as you can. Okay. I'll even go to the point of to try to squeeze out some of that liquid from the zucchini. So now the zucchini will go straight into our batter. Zucchini juice, don't throw it away. That's good. A little salty, but good. Alright, we're just going to fold this in together. Okay, make a nice mixture. Make sure that zucchini is well coated, because that is what's holding our zucchini together. At this point, we're ready to grill. You do want to grill somewhat quickly. We do have that baking powder in there that is definitely activating right now, and it's going to start to rise. Okay, so we'll let this sit here just for a second. We're going to move over to the griddle. I'm just using a blend of canola and olive oil. All right, nothing too expensive. Okay, throw that on there. Now, you do need to make sure you have plenty of oil on there. That way it crisps up. If we don't have enough oil, all right, it's not going to be as nice. Just think of those crispy edged pancakes. All right, crispy edged pancakes occur because of the excess fat that is in the pan. Same thing is going to occur here. So our pan's nice and ready. We got plenty of fat. We're ready to go on with our fritters. How big or small you want to make them is up to you. Okay. Now, I choose a larger spoon. I'll plop them down right on there. Okay. And then you want to spread them out. Me and my kids, you know, I try to feed them vegetables as much as possible. They like crunchy things, so I need to make this nice and thin so that they don't realize there's zucchini in there. Alright. We'll do this a few times. We might even need to add a little bit more fat in there just to make sure they crisp up real nice. If you don't have a griddle, you can do this in a saute pan. You do not have to have a griddle. Now, I'm noticing fat here is really nice, here is okay, down here I don't have enough. So I want to add just a little bit more fat. Like I said, I like them crispy. So adding that fat, and again, I'm just using a canola olive oil blend. Alright, that'll help to crisp them up real nice. Now we let them cook. Patience is a virtue here. Actually pretty good. Alright, just like pancakes, you wait till they start to bubble a little bit. We see those bubbles inside there, they're starting to dry out. Okay, they're ready for a good flip. Here's the tough part. You just gotta go with it. You can't be hesitant. If you mess up, oh well, that one's for the dog. Right? That's what they say in French. Is when it comes to crepes. But we're not in France. And it turned out. Look at that. Hear that. Listen. Shh. Shh. Now we wait. It's been about 5 minutes per side, maybe a little bit more. Depending upon how thick you make them, depends on how long it takes. Okay, so we're about ready to plate up here. All we're going to do is take a few of these right onto the plate. We're going to garnish with a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, grated, nice and small. This really helps out. And you give it a little bit of sauce, you know, a nice, you know, a nice olive oil. You know, this brand does okay. You can tell by the picture, but but there is definitely better out there. We get a little fork out of here. We cut into it. It is a nice appetizer. Serve it over pasta. Hot. Great way to use up leftover zucchini that your neighbors give you. Very simple. 15 minutes, maybe 20. Alright? We're here at culinaryrogue.com, kicking it at you.